Hello, my beautiful fragrance family. Dustin here, fragrance fan. Go ahead and do me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification. And I'm just going to keep on giving you guys these budget-friendly fragrance reviews. That 40-ish and $100 range, and most of these are way less than that. And a good number of these you can find at your local rack stores. So I decided to put together a list of 5 fragrances that I think work awesome at the beach. I have other fragrances that work awesome at the beach, but these 5 I have wore recently, and I really went through my collection and handpicked each one of these out because, like I said before, I don't like to double feature too many things and stuff like that, but these 5 are just, I think they're superb for the beach. It's like they're built for the summertime, like the hottest weather that you can possibly get. Not necessarily just beach, the hottest weather, and you're kind of like maybe at a picnic, maybe at a lakeside, doing some kind of outdoorsy thing, and you just want to bring summer in a bottle and just get that kind of feel, then these 5 will work for that. So in no particular order, let's go ahead and start things off with a bottle that looks like a big jug of maple syrup. Hollister SoCal. This only has 3 notes in it: pineapple, suede, and rosemary. That's it. That's what it has in it as far as the notes go. But you get a little bit more than that. The pineapple in this doesn't have any kind of sharpness. It's not like that spiky pineapple, not like the kind that you would get in Aventus, not the kind that you would get in Alfreson, Kate Alfreson. It's not that kind. It's a sweet, ripe pineapple with none of that sharpness, none of that thing that like you feel behind your jaw or anything like that. The suede smooths things out, almost gives it like a creamy sandalwood kind of a feel, and the rosemary just adds that touch of spice. It's not a rosemary dominant, but it just adds a touch of spice with that smooth suede on that sweet pineapple, so it kind of has a creaminess to it. Very tropical, very relaxing. This is like the kind of fragrance you might want to tan, or like, I'm just trying to paint a picture, not saying that you necessarily want to wear like cologne tanning. I do, because I like smelling good all the time. But yeah, it's like if you're just basking in the sun, this is a good one for that. It just works really good. The performance on this one isn't terrible. It's not a beast, but it's like almost a 5-hour fragrance or so. So it's not like some kind of very poor performer. At least on my skin, I've heard somebody say that they didn't smell anything. I don't know how that happens with some people, but I guess some just completely nose blind to some fragrances. So on me, average performance, average projection, and you get this whole giant 6.7 ounce bottle for like $24 at TJ Maxx, Marshalls, whatever, in the little glass case. You'll see this one a lot of times in the women's section because the box is like white and might almost look feminine. So look in the women's section if you want this bottle. The dark juice, don't let that lead you astray. This is a fresh, somewhat creamy, sweet, aquatic, tropical kind of smelling fragrance. Hollister SoCal. Great for the summertime. Up next, another kind of creamy fragrance. One of my new pickups. I'm so glad I picked this thing up because it's a very accurate clone of Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau. And this is Maison Alhambra's Glacier Bold. The juice is actually that color green. If you notice, the bottle is actually clear. It's clear. So the juice is what's green. So that's pretty cool. This one has 3 notes in it as well: bergamot, coconut, tonka bean. That the bergamot is just enough bergamot to complement the coconut. It's a raw, creamy coconut. It's not like a real dirty coconut like you would get in Latafa Zanzibar. It's a creamy, raw coconut with a little bit of that husk. The tonka bean in there giving it just enough vanilla, powdery, nutty thing. And it was brought to my attention that it almost has a little bit of a tobacco thing going on. And tonka bean can have a nuance of tobacco. So I didn't even notice that. And but even if you don't notice that, you're definitely going to get that crisp bergamot, creamy coconut, powdery vanilla tonka bean. But again, there's a little bit of a tobacco thing going on in this thing. This is a sexy fragrance. Very sexy, summertime, creamy, little bit of a suntan lotion vibe type fragrance, but not overly so. So this one is unisex. Men and women can enjoy this one across the board. Performance on this one is decent. It's on the average to slightly stronger side of average, which is like 5.5 hours. Projection, right at average. And it doesn't change too much from the opening to the dry down. It stays pretty much the same. It loses a little bit of that spark from the bergamot, but for the most part, it stays the same. So if you like coconut fragrances, this might be your ticket. This is a sexy coconut, vanilla, little bit of spark from that bergamot kind of fragrance. Excellent for the beach. This was my most one of my most recent wears to the beach. Worked very well. Up next, one that works, as the name would imply, sport is in the name of this thing, and it would work really good if you're playing football or anything, just any kind of outdoor, and it's just the hottest that it can possibly be. This fragrance is one that will not offend anybody. It won't really get polarizing or anything. It's very invigorating, and that is Azzaro Chrome Sport. This is the only one that has a different kind of cap. Can't get it focused. There we go, a little bit. Different kind of cap than all the other chromes, but it still stays true to that diamond plate on the top. This has kind of the same feel as Versace Man Eau Fraiche, except this one, I would say, leans a little bit sharper. Has that, that metallic, that chrome metallic DNA. Mostly what this is a load of citrus. Load of very bright citrus, aquatic, green, woody fragrance. Aquatic, woody, citrus green is what this is. Very bright, very refreshing, very, very clean. No sweetness whatsoever in this. Strictly the citruses, like any of the orange that's in here. Take away the sweetness from the orange and just get the crisp citrus part of that thing. The lemon, the grapefruit, the woods, the aquatic. One, I think Profumo has oxygen listed in this thing, which I thought was kind of funny. And it's fitting though at the same time, because it's like almost like a breath of fresh air. This scent profile is on this one. There's a reason why Versace Man Eau Fraiche has kind of spawned a whole bunch of inspired by fragrances. Kenneth Cole Blue, Mont Blanc, Star Walker. They don't smell just like it, but they're very, very similar, and you can tell they were inspired by it. This is another one of those, but it's very affordable. You can get it for like $30-ish or so. Performance is decent. It's a 5-hour fragrance. Projection is pretty good at first for like the first 30 or 45 minutes. Comes back really easy, and it ends up just being like a watery, woody fragrance with a little bit of spice at the end during the dry down for like the last 2 or 3 hours of this thing. But man, I mean, look at the juice level. I wear this thing a lot. It's hot in Florida. So this is one of those dumb reach hot fragrances. So Azzaro Chrome Sport definitely is good for this list. And up next, one that I just had to throw in here when I was making this list, and that is Tommy Bahama's Set Sail St. Barts. I've said it before, other people have said it, so I'm not the first one to say this, but it is 100% accurate when people say this is a cruise ship vacation in a bottle. A lot of similarity to Creed's Virgin Island Water. It's kind of got a similarity to that. So this is an extremely refreshing, inviting, uplifting, crisp, sparkly, juicy, citrus, aquatic, heavy dose of salty kind of a fragrance. It has stuff like tequila, agave, which it takes agave to make tequila, but both of those are in here. This smells like a salty mixed drink on the water. It's like something you want to be under a coconut tree. There's no like creamy coconut or anything like that in this fragrance, but it has that super just beachy coconut palm tree type of a vibe. Like I said, like a salty margarita drink or something like that. If you want something that's very bright, very refreshing, very crisp, very clean, that just takes you, it just catapults you into a vacation on the beach, that's this fragrance right here. I can't say that enough. The performance isn't as bad as you would think it would be. The eau de cologne concentration kept me from buying these fragrances for a long time. I'm lucky that I finally stepped out and grabbed these things because it's like a 4-hour fragrance. It's not like an absolute trash performing kind of fragrance. For being so fresh, it projects pretty decent, and the performance is not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. So this one for $20 that you can find at the store is so worth it. If you want a summertime fragrance, you want to check this one out. Tommy Bahama St Barts. All the Tommy Bahamas are good for the summer, but this one just takes the cake in my opinion. And one of my most recent purchases, and it was my most recent wear to the beach at the end of July 2024. This is a 2024 release, and that is Tommy Hilfiger's Vibrant Summer. Now, I said before that this is very similar to Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau, and I just featured a Le Beau clone on here. And it still does maintain a lot of the same characteristics. The difference being this is much more bright. It's much, it's more vibrant. You know, it's a more bright fragrance. It's got other things in here. It's got a good dose of lemon. It's got cardamom in here. It's got a slight touch of some spiciness. And the solar notes that this thing has listed is kind of like that same kind of scent profile that you get when you walk outside. This happens in Florida. You walk outside and you're like, oh my goodness, it's hot out here. And that smell that you get from like the pulsating rays off of the sun, that's like what's in here. So it opens up with that nice, bright lemon, a lot of those solar notes, cardamom, but at the same time, it's got a creamy coconut feel going on. A little bit of that suntan lotion coconut feel with all the vibrance and that lemon, that crisp, juicy lemon right up top. This smelled amazing while I was at the beach. I kind of couldn't get enough of it. Like, I wanted to refresh every chance that I could get. The performance isn't that bad on this thing. It's an average 5-hour fragrance. The projection is right at average, so it's pretty good when it comes to that, especially for being such an inexpensive freshie. $25 all day long at Ross, and from what I understand, the female version smells pretty good too. I haven't smelled that, but I heard that it smells good. But this one definitely has my vote, and you can own this one and Jean Paul's Le Beau or Glacier Bold, and not be too redundant. The Le Beau is more of a sexy fragrance, creamier, sexier, while this is more of a bright, refreshing, uplifting fragrance that's more geared towards the day, whilst the Glacier Bold can do day or night a little bit better in my opinion. But man, this thing is bright, and it is really good for what it is. So that's 5 fragrances that I think just work awesome for the beach. Doesn't even have to be the beach. It could be just any kind of outdoors hot, like a picnic, and you just want to kind of capture the high heat. I'm losing my words, but you kind of get what I'm trying to say. Basically, it's 5 fragrances that just work really, really good when it's really, really hot and you're outside. So that's the kind of list that I was trying to come up with, something that just works in the highest heat setting without offending anybody. With that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed, take care of yourself always, and until next time.